What's going on, everybody? This is Jay from Maji and Jay. Today the purpose of this video is to review the THL 4000, in which I got from the website gearbest.com. This phone is normally $99.99, however there is a coupon available by the website GearBest in which you can get it for only $85 US. The phone is quite impressive. It carries a 4000 power milliamp battery, and as a matter of fact that's where they got the model number of this phone. But here, let's get started with the physical aspects of the phone. What we got in the front here is a 4.7-inch display with a resolution of 960 by 540. It is a QHD display. Also, it is IPS, but unfortunately it is not OGS, which means one glass solution. The LCD and the digitizer are going to be separated. On the top, you're going to find the microphone. We also got the proximity and light sensor together with the 1.3 megapixel sensor camera. On the left side of the phone, we can find there that little tiny dot, and that's going to be your notification LED light. And then on the bottom, you're going to find the menu key, the home key, and also the back key. They light up, but they're not super bright, as you guys can tell right now. On the left side of the phone, it's going to be totally plain. We don't have any buttons whatsoever, and this phone is actually quite thick, measuring 9.8 millimeters thick. On the top, you're going to find here the charging/data port, and it is also an OTG device, so it's going to support accessories such as mice, keyboards, and also memory. We can see here we also got the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right side, we're going to find the volume rockers up and down together with the power button, something that I do dislike because I prefer the volume rocker to be on the other side. That way I can identify them easier, but that's okay, I can deal with it, and it was actually not that uncomfortable. On the back of the phone here, we're going to find a 5 megapixel sensor camera with the LED flash, the THL logo, and on the bottom we got the loudspeaker. Opening the back cover here, we can notice that this is a dual standby device and also supports TF cards up to 32 gigabytes. This phone is powered by the MTK6582. It comes with 1 gigabyte of RAM and 8 gigabytes of internal storage. And here we can see, guys, that the battery is in fact a 4000 power milliamp battery, 3.7 volts. And I was able to get a standby on this device between standby and also using it some days. I got about a week of battery life, which I think is tremendous. I never seen anything like it after the Phone P5000. We can see here, guys, that the build quality of the phone is quite, I would say, simplistic, nothing very special here, and it is made of plastic. However, when you grab it on your hand and you squeeze it, it doesn't make any weird noises, indicating that it is a cheap device. It's actually feeling here very nice and premium, and with this battery is very heavy. And now getting here to the front of the phone, here we're going to find the operating system, and as we can see, guys, it is a very simplistic operating system. It doesn't lag that much. I noticed that sometimes when playing games it did lag a little bit. It wasn't that much, but that's because we only have 1 gigabyte of RAM. Have that in mind. This phone also came pre-installed with the Play Store and came also installed with YouTube application, in which YouTube is working perfectly well. Let's go ahead and open it here. We're going to play one of my recent videos, which was about the Htc Galaxy A5. It is a very impressive device. These Chinese guys are coming with many different clones in 2015. As a matter of fact, the Galaxy S6 is in the making right now. I could be receiving it anytime soon. So here, jumping back to the subject, let's go ahead and play one of my videos, and here we can see that it is currently playing it. Unfortunately, guys, this is a QHD display, so we're not going to get a high resolution. At the most, we can only play 360p videos, as we can tell right here. The next thing we're going to do on this phone, we're going to test the camera. The front-facing camera here is going to be, like I said earlier, a 1.3 megapixel sensor camera. On the back, it's going to be a 5 megapixel sensor camera. So let's go ahead and check the next footage, and let me know what you guys think. Alrighty, and here we have the THL 4000 5 megapixel sensor camera test. And as we can see, guys, the quality is a little bit choppy. The colors are not that great, but it is expected from an $85 device. This is considered a budget phone, so don't expect the greatest camera out there. But for the most part, it's doing its job. And now let's test the 2 megapixel front-facing camera. And here we have the THL 4000 2 megapixel front-facing camera, and as expected, the quality is not that great. This is not recommended for recording. As a matter of fact, I barely recommend any front-facing camera for recording, but it's going to do its job for selfies. Alrighty, guys, and there we have it for the camera test. And as we can see, the quality for a 5 megapixel sensor is okay. It is nothing to really brag about or to be impressed with. Here we have the UI of the system, something that we have seen many times before, and of course I'll be providing some picture samples on the description down below so that way you guys can check it out if you wish to do so. Here if we go into settings, we go into camera options, we scroll down, we're going to see that at the most it has been interpolated here to be a 13 megapixel sensor, but that's not going to be correct. This is only a 5 megapixel sensor and the front is only a 1.3 megapixel sensor. So the information has been faked on this device quite a bit. So here if we go to the Antutu Test benchmark, we're going to see that the score that I got, it was about 19,512, which is okay for the MTK6582. Here we go to the rankings. We can see where this phone was ranked. It was just below the Zenfone 5, as we can notice right there. If you go here into system info, here we can see, guys, that some of the information is not correct, at least on the camera side, but everything else appears to be correct. The resolution of the screen, the RAM, the processor, everything else appears to be legit here. So let's go ahead and continue scrolling down, and we can see that we don't have many sensors supported. But for that, we have this application. It is called the sensor box. Let me see if I have downloaded it, and yes, I did. Here it is, and here we're going to identify all the sensors that we have supported. The only one that we have is the accelerometer, we have the light sensor, proximity sensor, and finally the sound sensor. And now here we're also going to test the multi-touch screen. When I first got this device, it was indicating as if it only had a 2-point multi-touch screen, so I didn't really get back to it much. But here we're going to test it again, and right now it appears to be that it is a 5-point multi-touch screen. This is great news, because when I first tested it, it only showed again a 2-point multi-touch screen, so I'm guessing that maybe it was lagging a little bit, or there was some bug in the system. This phone also supports OTA, which is over-the-air updates. So here we go to settings. We scroll all the way to the bottom to about device. You're going to see that on the top it says wireless updates, and we can check them every time you guys wish to do so, or you can have it to where it checks it about every 3 days or so. So as we can see right now, it is currently updated to the latest software. And then here we're going to see, guys, that yes, this is the Android Kitkat 4.4.2, and this is also great to know, and it hasn't been faked because I did already confirm it here with the Geek benchmark. We're going to see that this is identifying it as the Android Kitkat 4.4.2, and here we have the processing power and whatnot. Here we're going to open this application, and we're going to see how fast it's going to lock a signal. As of right now, it's doing it within seconds. Sometimes it could take up to a minute, but that is acceptable as long as it works. When I'm outside, I get a much better signal reception. Right now here, it's reading 12 satellites. And there we can see, guys, that it has locked a signal that was quite fast, if you guys ask me. And now if you drop down here, we're going to find all the toggles that we had supported on this phone. And here we can see, guys, that it is quite a few. I did have to charge the device today because before I started this review, I was at about 10%. So I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to complete it. But let's see here, if we go into settings, we go into battery. Let me see if the information probably reset it. And yes, it did. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys all the usage that I perform on this phone. Again, guys, it was almost about, I would say, 6 days and a half, and I didn't have to charge this phone. Most of it was on standby, but I did use it to make the GPS camera test. I played some games and whatnot, and the phone was performing quite well. The battery is very, very impressive. And it makes sense because this phone only has a resolution of 960 by 540, so the resolution is not high, and also has only a 4.7-inch display. With the MTK6582, it is only clocked at 1.3 gigahertz quad-core processor, so it is more than capable of handling, guys, well with this battery. I was overall impressed with it. And here now we're going to go ahead and play with some applications and games that I have downloaded on this device, and also use some system applications and check the languages and whatnot, so that way you guys can see if this phone is for you or not. So please make sure you guys enjoy it. Alrighty guys, and there we have it for the performance of this device, and as we can see, it is not disappointing whatsoever. This is a very nice phone, and the great news is that phones like this, we can use it for our kids like myself. Right now I have a daughter, she's only 6 years old, and I'm always worried about whether she's going to take care of her devices or not, even though she has a smartphone already. But this is something that I would definitely buy for her if she ever needs another one, because these phones are very cheap and they perform quite well. Your kids are going to have a lot of fun with it. Or also for people who are on a tight budget, I would definitely recommend it. This is a phone that has an amazing battery, and for those who are on the go and you guys don't care about the camera quality, in which you saw it is not so bad for a 5 megapixel sensor, then this is something that you might look into. And now here we're going to go ahead and perform a Bluetooth test with my little Bose speaker here. Let's go ahead and turn it on and put it on Perry mode, and there we go. Right now it's on Perry mode. Let's go here into settings, let's go into Bluetooth, let's turn it on. And I think I haven't paired with this device yet, or even if I did, I think I actually disconnected it. But yes, I have paired with it before. So let's go ahead and tap on it and see if it's working right now currently. I think that my Bose speaker here is trying to connect. And there we have it guys, it has connected already. So let's go here back once, as we always do. Let's go into audio profiles, settings. Let's check here the Bose called Ringtones, and let's check the quality. Response time is very fast. And now we're going to test the bottom speaker. The bottom speaker is not super loud, as we can hear. I would say it's about average. Alright guys, and there we have it for the sound test. And next thing we're going to do here is go ahead and use my little weight scale to check the weight of the device. Let's go ahead and place that on top, and this phone is going to be exactly 184 grams. So there we can see guys that this is more towards the heavy side, and that's because of the battery. It is a 4000 power milliamp battery. I believe that without it, it's going to be about 130 grams, so the phone is not heavy itself. Now here you can notice guys, I don't know if you've seen this, that even though it is a 960 by 540 display, it does look very nice. And have in mind that this is an IPS display, so on viewing angles it's going to work very well. Also, if you guys have one of these like I do, this is the adapter for the OTG. All you have to do is just connect it on the bottom, then you can connect accessories including gaming controls, which is something very cool about this device. And now here, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and test the browser. Right now I am connected here with my Wi-Fi. We're going to test both of them. And the great news is that this phone is a WCDMA 850, 1900, and 2100, which means that it's going to support 3G with at&t and T-Mobile here in the USA. Right now I am connected here again with my Wi-Fi, so we're going to test here the browser, and I am connected here with YouTube. Let's go ahead and reload this page, and we're going to see guys that it's more than obvious that on Wi-Fi this is going to be very fast. So what we're going to do next is go ahead and turn off the Wi-Fi, and then we're going to test here the 3G connectivity, which is also H+ on T-Mobile. As you guys can see right there, I'm using the T-Mobile network. So let's go ahead and open here, let's say pandawheel.com. As a matter of fact, let's open GearBest. And let's test their website and see how fast it's going to load. And again, this phone is from GearBest itself. So here we're going to see guys that yes, on 3G connectivity is working quite well. Most of you are going to be very satisfied. Now the last thing we're going to do here is go ahead and make a phone call test, so that way we can check the ear speaker quality and also the back speaker. Now I have to admit guys that the ear speaker on this phone is not going to be as good as you may think. The quality was very poor. Sometimes I had a hard time listening to people when I was outside, but we're still going to perform the test. That way you guys can see for yourself that the speaker quality is not too loud. And now we're going to place it on loudspeaker.
T-Mobile. Para continuar en español, diga español.
And now let's test the ear speaker here. So there we have it for the call quality guys, and as we can tell, the ear speaker, like I said earlier, it's not going to be very loud, but it's going to do its job for the most part, especially if you're making calls from inside of a house or inside of a building. It's going to be okay. And now guys, I think that I have covered everything about this device, and like always, if you guys do have any questions, please don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget that the link has been provided on the description together with the coupon, so make sure you guys take advantage of this great deal. Only $85 from the website gearbest.com, and I think this phone is definitely worth it. It is a very nice budget phone. Well guys, thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, comment down below, like the video, and have a good one.